Welcome everyone to another Pixelated review. I'm your host, Pixelated Jordan. So we all like Godzilla, right? You know, the big giant monster tackling things and taking things down and all that good stuff, right? Yeah, we all love that, right? So what if we did that, but a book? I know what you're thinking. It's like, wait, but isn't that for the big screen? No. We can definitely put it in a book. So yeah, this thing is a giant monster book. You know, honestly, when I first looked at it, I was like, what is this about? And I looked at some of the descriptions. I was like, oh, giant monsters. Well, I like Godzilla. I like King Kong. So it's like, why not? I never thought about it as a book. So I was pretty interested to kind of see that. I never read or even heard of the giant monsters being about a book, just being a book. Because I didn't think it would work in the book format. I don't know why I think that way, but that's what I assumed, at least. This is my first kaiju book, I guess you could say, and this is also by a YouTuber, I think, if I'm not correct. I'm pretty sure it is. But yeah, so let's take a dive into Operation Red Dragon. So without further ado, let's start the review. Characters. So we're back with the main character named Richard. After, Sword of Truth, I would assume there was no more Richards, but there was another Richard hanging about. Anyways, more or less, he's just our point of view guy, and he's just another dude who goes into a secret facility of Operation Red Dragon. It's basically, fantasy, secret agent, undercover cop thing. I don't know what you want to call it. Point is, yeah, this normal dude just finds out that, giant monsters exist, and then giant monsters just kind of attack Tokyo in places, the usual. And there's other little characters that were pretty cool for the most part, I guess. There's these people who are mortal, but they can also be killed because the government created them. I don't know, that was weird. There was this one little side bit that I didn't like too much, where it felt very forced. Like they're talking to each other, like they're a couple, like, oh, we don't have to, we're fine. And the serious one is like, oh, but they can kill us. I don't know why I feel like that was a bit forced. Other than that, the characters have some funny dialogue and all that stuff, but nothing too extraordinary. But then again, I am talking about a giant monster book, right? So I guess we should have a separate section for that, should we? Monsters. There is a lot of monsters in this book. I kind of got into it and like, oh, there's probably gonna be one, maybe two, maybe we'll have an epic clash and all that stuff, and that's about it. No, there is so many monsters in here, and it's kind of hard to keep track. Though design-wise, they're actually pretty cool. Like this one right here, this one's pretty cool. But the other ones that they have feel like, I don't know, some feel like we don't need them right now. Some feel like they're really awesome and big that they should be saved for later. I'll get to that point later. But other than that, though, the monster designs, they are cool, and there's a little hint at saying, oh, these monsters can probably think for themselves like humans, which I kind of like. I think that was a really cool idea. So they haven't explored it yet, but as far as the monsters go and the fights go, they're fine. They work. And the designs, they're good. I like them. So let's talk about said book, I guess. Summary, yeah. The plot. The plot is Richard is a photographer, and he's flying too close to the sun like Icarus. The Operation Red Dragon found out, and they're like, hey, you're taking pictures of all the stuff that we don't want you to. We need to make sure this is kept secret. And then they introduce him to literally everything he was right about. All right, then. And then giant monsters are here, and they're actually attacking cities. And, well, that's so far for secrecy, then. And then some fights happen, and we're introduced to some other characters, and blah, 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 middle, blah, blah, blah. And then we get to basically what is the finale of, you would assume maybe a trilogy. A giant monster battle takes place, and it is just everywhere. And even then, the main monster that was introduced was supposed to be giant, big, and bad, and he was gonna destroy the world or humanity and stuff like that. And then he dies in the first book. So yeah, that is basically the plot. I mean, it's giant monsters, so I mean, you got what you paid for. So yeah, that's the plot for you. So let's just go for overall now. Overall, did Big Monster hit hard other monster? Big Monster did hit other monster big hard. But there was a big problem also with all that. It's that it went too big, too fast. So, the biggest issue I have with the series is the fact that they wanted to add so much. You know, there was like a lot of monsters. We got this monster, we got this monster. There's a giant robot we have here. And that just kind of made me just, I feel like if you're going to do a bunch of giant monsters or anything of a big group fight, it should be building up to an end, not the first start of a book. I don't know. I feel like that just rushed things too much. Where if it was just one monster and then there was another one monster fighting, heck, it could be the one with the giant robot and one monster and then two other monsters. And I think that would have been fine, you know. I think it would have been even ground. Or even if that one monster was just so powerful, it just took the two monster and one robot, you know, something like that. But no. It was just an all-out brawl, as in Godzilla, King of the Monsters, or the, what's that other one called? Destroy All Monsters. There we go. That's the one I'm thinking of. And they just go all out. But then again, that's one of the climax of, you know, one of the Godzillas in the earlier days. So saying that's your first step is a bit too much. And it kind of just took away from everything that I wanted to see in the series. I say if the book slow this down just a bit and introduce just a little bit monsters here and there, I think it would have been fine. You know, we got one big monster, one big bad right here, we'll take him on. Then another next big bad, and then another one, and then they all come together to fight. And I think that would have been fun. But sadly, this kind of dragged it out for me. And then when it comes to kind of forced dialogue that it felt like, and that's about it, you know, I don't know. I feel like this could have been better. And sadly, I didn't like it as much as I wish I could have. And that took it away from me. And I feel bad about that, you know, because obviously there's passion put in here. There's love in this book. There's a lot of things in it, but sadly, I just couldn't connect with it as maybe some other people can out there. And you know what? That's good for them, you know? I'm really happy for people who like this book. I sadly could not attach myself to it as much as I wish I could have. But you know what? I'm glad that I read it still. And you know, I never knew there was a giant monster genre, so I'll definitely have to check that out much later. So, without that being said, I give this book review, Operation Red Dragon, a forgettable tier. I want to thank you guys all for watching, and I appreciate it. And if you like this review, I got plenty other reviews in the playlist. And yeah, so if you would like to subscribe, hit that like button, and all that good stuff. So thank you very much for watching, and have a great day.